I was on Micro Center's website window shopping like I usually do and ran across this pre-built that I thought was trash. I said, I can definitely build that better, but not only better, cheaper. I was wrong.
Who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was.
Ollie Oxen.
I just told you. That's who I think I am.
The pre-built in question is the HP Pavilion TG01 2360. It's rocking a 5700G, 12GB RTX 3060, 16GB of DDR4 RAM at 3200 speed, and a 500GB NVMe SSD. Now Micro Center has it listed at $1149 compared to my slightly less powerful version. I can see why the price is so low. Let's look at where some corners were cut. I mean, value added.
But if I can be real about it, be real, son. Real. Be real, son.
The case is made of a plastic front with some gamer green accents with the big HP logo, but no front airflow. It's the standard HP OEM case, motherboard, power supply, no opportunities for any meaningful upgrades. Proprietary EPS power connectors limit you to the included 400 watt power supply. No intake fan, limited intake vents with what appears to be a 120mm exhaust fan. All proprietary, no space for customization. In comes my competitor, a small form factor ITX gaming build with a combination of spare parts and personal preferences. Rocking the 6-core 12-thread Ryzen 5600G, an Asus Phoenix RTX 3060 with 12GB of VRAM in the very popular NR200P, with the list price of $1545.
You tripping.
Let's not only see how these numbers add up, but why I think my computer at nearly $400 more in asking is worth every penny. Now, something to keep in mind as we look at these numbers, this build is intended to be profitable for me while still bringing value to the customer. The Ryzen 5600G retails at $259, bringing the cost to $274 after tax. Now, I was able to get this open box at Micro Center for $191, $205 after tax. If you don't know, open box is a category for items at Micro Center that have been recently new from the manufacturer that for one reason or another customer has opened and returned the item. Now usually the item is inspected by Micro Center and then returned to the sales floor at a discounted price. I've returned plenty of items to Micro Center many times unopened just because I realized that the part either didn't fit or I didn't really need it after all. Buying items open box is a great way to get new stuff at lower prices due to someone else's oversight. So we're going to charge $260 for the CPU, giving us a markup of $54. Next, our GPU is the RTX 3060 12GB variant from Asus. Now the Phoenix model of the 3060 is the least visually spectacular piece of the build, and we bought it at full retail for $498. We're going to charge $500, giving us a profit of $2. For RAM, we already had these in the studio, and we're going with the LPX line of low profile sticks from Corsair. 16GB running at 3200 speed was $94.99 MSRP, but we got it on sale for $85 after taxes. We're charging the customer $87. Next is storage. I choose M.2 whenever I can to avoid dealing with SATA power and data cables. We were able to get 512GB for $53 full price and charge the customer $55. Now for the motherboard, this was also already in the studio and we chose the Aorus B450 ITX board. At launch, it retailed for $119, and despite the chipset being a generation behind, a BIOS update is all it took to be compatible with the Ryzen 5000 series CPU. The only caveat for this part is missing the I/O shield. Now this is a cardinal sin for me, but I decided since the board is reselling on eBay anywhere from $120 to $150, I took a hit for the missing component by only charging the customer $80. Now considering I bought this motherboard open box for $119 after tax, I lost about $40 on this part overall. For the case, we chose the NR200P from Cooler Master, one of my favorite cases period. We were also able to get this open box for $97 after tax. Brand new, this case retails for $130, and we charged $120, giving us a profit of $22. Being an ITX case, we were limited with the options for power supplies to SFX and SFXL. We decided on SFX, and luckily we found one that was open box from PowerSpec. With fully modular cables and at 650 watts, it's overkill for this configuration, but at $94 after tax, the price is on par with more reasonable 500 watt power supplies. Actually, a little cheaper with 150 watts of headroom to the customer at no extra cost to them. We charge $95, making us 88-cent profit. For cooling, we use the G200P, an RGB low-profile CPU cooler from Cooler Master for $49 after tax. We charge $50. And for our exhaust fans, we chose the SF240R ARGB unit from Cooler Master. Retailing at $35 after tax, we charged the customer $40. Our total profit from cooling parts gave us $6. There was also an RGB splitter we got for $17 after tax that we charged at cost. And finally, the Windows 10 license, which we bought for $11. We charged the customer $40, giving us a profit of $29. The total retail price of this build is $1,560.22 plus $81 at 6% sales tax, bringing us the final value to $1,641.83. The total price we actually paid for the parts between sales and discounts came to $1,231.65. Total savings from discounts, $410.19. The total price of parts charged to the customer, including markups, is $1,344, $77 more than what I paid for the parts. The last charge to the customer is for the most invaluable component in the entire build, my time. Right now, my build fee is set to 15% of the total cost to the customer. 15% of the customer price for these parts comes out to $201.60. And that brings the grand total of the list price to the customer to $1,545.60.
God damn!
The plan is to set this either on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, the Hardware Swap subreddit, or some other platform where I won't be charged a transaction fee should the computer actually sell. I usually sell on eBay, but with their transaction fees between PayPal and eBay, I would end up having to charge an extra $230 to cover the loss, pushing the price of the PC well into the $1,700 range. And that's not the point of the video. I thought the rig would have been sold by now, but I'm finding the most important part of being a seller is patience. I posted on Facebook Marketplace and got some interest, but since I'm not shipping this rig, a local pickup is a must. And the seller just wasn't willing to meet my terms of sale that I set. After about 2 days with no interest, I listed it to Craigslist, but again to no avail. I posted it finally to offer up, and we'll see how it goes. My machine costs more because it brings more to the table. And now I have a better understanding of how system integrators go about pricing their systems. However, with the TG01 2360, it looks like for this build, HP is better at making money than they are at making quality rigs. In our next video, we're going to analyze pricing for several system integrators and see if their prices are worth your investment, depending on what your needs are. Let me know in the comments what you think about my listing. What would you do different? Is the value of this rig worth the price? Or is it a bunch of crap? Also, if you want to support me directly, consider subscribing to my Patreon page. We have an exclusive Discord, discounts at my online store, orisha.tech, where we're making custom PC hardware and more behind the scene content only for patrons. And if none of that works for you, then consider dropping a like, leaving a comment, or even subscribing to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. I did see that Build Redux has no markups on some of their builds, so we're definitely going to have to do a deep dive to see if their pricing reflects the components that they use and where they would actually be making money, because having built my own system for resale, you got to mark up somewhere. Somewhere you have to charge more than what you spend to get these parts. It's just, yeah. No markup seems more like a marketing term than the truth, or all of the truth. We'll talk about it.